Greetings to my 16 subscribers. I'm still here talking about dopamine and vinyl, and today we are unboxing the first pressing edition of The Romantic by Bruno Mars. Now I have to admit, for my vinyl collection, this one will be my very first numbered vinyl, so I'm very excited about that. At the time of this recording, I have listened to this album once on Spotify. So this is how the box arrived, and I was concerned because look at how thick the box is, and it was like hanging off, like it was partially open. So I was concerned because the box is big, which meant that the vinyl was probably jostling around, like being thrown around, and that usually creates seam splits. So I was super concerned because I have gotten seam splits when I have gotten vinyl shipped in the mail, unfortunately. And then I even looked at the side and I'm like, oh no, because there was kind of like a bust through the plastic part. But the thing that I didn't necessarily remember about this vinyl was that the sleeve is not made out of paper. So we'll see more about that pretty soon. So this is me actually ripping the plastic off of the vinyl, which I don't know that I've gotten a picture perfect unplasticking of a vinyl yet. One day. So we're looking on the front. I do like the font that he used here, and we've got like this black and white thing going on, and the design, the art design of the border is really pretty. So this is where it finally dawned on me when I was pulling out the vinyl sleeve. I was like, oh yeah, this is velvet. Thus, there were not any seam splits on the sleeve, which I was very grateful for. But the way that they had packaged it, had it not been a very sturdy, durable sleeve, aka this one made out of vinyl, it would have been a disaster and it would have definitely caused seam splits. So there we have it. Here's the first look at that kind of velvet sleeve. And it feels really nice and it's very unique. So it's also my first velvet sleeve. I can't say that I have another velvet sleeve at this time. And then flipping it on the back, you've got all of the different tracks on this album. And there's the number. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I think that's 7,814. The font got a little wispy, so I wasn't 100% what that number was. And then there's the track list. So off the top of my head, again, I've only listened to this once. I believe I listened to the album prior to my vinyl getting shipped. I usually pre-order vinyl, so when the album has released, like they usually come out on Fridays, late Thursday night. And so if I want to actually listen to it prior to my vinyl showing up, which sometimes vinyl can take a long time to arrive, then I have to listen to it on Spotify, which I did for this one. I believe I listened to it when I took my dog for a walk, and it was very good walking music. Sometimes I think I find myself on the fence about listening to an album before I get it on vinyl, because I'm like, oh, the vinyl would be a great experience, but I'm trying to think less about things. I'm like, hey, if I want to listen to the album before I get my vinyl, that's okay. And I'm trying not to overthink things like that. I'm trying not to overthink some of these pretty little pastimes because the object is to enjoy. And just because I listened to it on Spotify before I got it on vinyl doesn't mean that I can't listen to my vinyl when I get it. So I've tried to stop myself from overthinking, because I think initially I'm like, oh, I can't listen to the album until I get it and play it on vinyl. And so I still go back and forth. But this one I said, all right, I'm just going to listen to it. And like I said, I listened to it when I took my dog on a walk, and it was great walking music. And I find the length was perfect because the walk and the length of the album basically lined up perfectly. So it was a great album to walk a dog to. In case you were wondering, it is definitely dog walkable music. Now, if we're asking me about what track stood out on the album, oh dear, based off of one listen, which at the time of recording this, I've only listened to the album once. I only have the I Just Might song stuck in my head, but that came out before the album came out, so I was already familiar with that song. There were some tracks that I remembered enjoying, but this is pretty much an easy listening album. It did give me the desire to go and listen to Silk Sonic and to want to have Silk Sonic on vinyl. So that was something for me to think about investing in, because it reminded me of how much I enjoyed the sound from that album. At this point of recording, probably more than the sound from this one. However, the more you listen to things, they tend to grow on you. So we will see. Sometimes when I order a vinyl, I also order a cassette to go with it, because I enjoy listening to cassettes, and they are easy to, like, you just pop it out of the case and then you just slip it into the boombox or your cassette player. And I like having that versatility. I keep my cassette player in a separate room from my vinyl player. So I have a boombox, it's a cassette and CD player, and it's in the room that I usually do some work in. So it helps me get better usage out of my physical media to have them in separate rooms, because when I'm in my room with the vinyl, there's my vinyl player. So when I'm in that room, I listen to vinyl as my music option, which is a different library of music. And sometimes, of course, there's overlap where, like, if an album is really a banger or something I want to listen to in both rooms, then I might have a cassette or a CD, and likewise a vinyl, vice versa, Hakuna Matata, whatever. That you kind of get what I'm trying to say. So this was one where I do want to get the cassette tape, because I think that it would be great background music for when I am working, and to have like a focused, lighthearted sprint. I think this album is around 30 minutes, so that would be a perfect, like, light music to work to. I don't have the cassette yet. I do wish I had ordered it. It is on my list of things to order to add to my little cassette collection, because I do think that I would like this on cassette, and I like having the option. Sometimes it's easier for me to play things on cassette, because I don't have to clean. Like, vinyl for me is very intentional, very focused, because of some of those prep steps. Like, you gotta get it out of the sleeve, I gotta take the cover off the needle. There's a little bit more prep work. So when I need something a little fast and funky, it's the cassette tapes. And I love the feel of cassette tapes. I like both for different reasons. That's why I've got cassettes and vinyl. But this is going to wrap up the unboxing of the first press of Bruno Mars, The Romantic. So have you listened to this album? What did you think about it? Did you get any of the vinyl cassettes? CDs, let me know in the comments below. And until the next pretty little pastime, see ya!